right, good morning, guys. We are pushing off of the dock. It is 5:42 in the morning, and it's chilly. Well, I know a bunch of y'all are not gonna agree with me on this one, but it's 65. 65 for me. This is like, okay, bust out a hoodie. But let me go ahead and turn on the lights here. It's hard to see with the GPS backlights on, because when you have the lights on, they blind you looking forward when it's dark. So I'll dim them down. Now when we finished our intro, but we're headed out today, it's gonna be a rough day. It is blowing 20 to 25 out of the east, and pulling traps here coming out of the east is really, really, really difficult, because what happens is that when you gaff the buoy, we're pulling from south to north because of the current. When you gaff the buoy, the wind is so strong pushing you east that you're holding onto that gaff hook with dear life. You have to really pull hard to get the rope into the boom of the winch to pull the trap. So yeah, I know it's going to be a brutal day, but I got to pull these traps. I mean, we got to, when the time comes, you got to pull them, no matter how the weather is. Or I would love to do it all on good days, but that's not the reality. So we're going to steam all the way out there. Probably got about an hour and 20-minute ride to the first buoy. Got to get the radar on so I could see. It's this really, really dark night, and I got to go slow and have my eyes glued to the radar. But bring you along on the ocean side, fingers crossed for a good day. Guys, we are, I don't know, like maybe 10 traps in, 7:06 in the morning. And man, I wanted to pull a couple just to kind of get, this east wind is so hard. You kind of got to change the way you approach the buoy, but it is extremely, extremely windy, and it's pretty hot now. It's got to be low 70s, and I am sweating. But man, if I take this jacket off, I'm gonna get soaked today. The salt water just keeps spraying you. So far we started off pretty good. Looks like it's gonna be a good day. I always tell you guys, you can tell right from the beginning, and so far the beginning has been pretty strong. I'm fearful of, counting my chickens before the eggs hatch, because it could be, this has happened to me before, where I start off really good and it was a little patch in the beginning, or sometimes it's a patch in the middle or towards the end. So we'll see, but so far we've gotten off to a good start. We're seeing a lot of crab in the trap, even though they might not have claws like this one, or that they might be little. But it's good when you see that many in the trap, even if they're too small. You know that that's a good sign. So looks like this warm weather that we experience, I thought last week would be good, and it wasn't. So it looks like it took a little bit longer. I don't know. But whatever it is, we're off to a good start, and man, thankfully we need it. If you missed last week's video, I'm gonna link it at the end of this one like I always do. But we invested in another 140 traps, and I talked about that in the last video. The tags, when you buy the tags, right now they're $70 to $80 a piece. And you buy the tags for 70 bucks, and you're about 50 bucks in on the trap. All in with the trap, the bait cup, escape ring, rope, buoys. And that's not including all of your labor, which is free. Free money to get them all built and cement poured. It's a tough process. But we got all of them built, and we're waiting for the tags to come in. And if they don't come in the next week, it may not even make sense to put the traps in the water. I thought I would have them right now. And what happens is is that we got to calculate, you know, how many trips we got to do. Obviously, those trips where you're dropping traps, there's no revenue. It's just expense. And then you got to look at it and say, okay, how much money is that going to cost me in bait and fuel? Look at this, guys. This is good specimen right here. How much money in bait and fuel do you got to spend? And then you got to factor that in for the end of the season. Same thing, that gas to get them all out of the water. So, and we did that calculation, and if we can't drop these traps in a week, it wouldn't make sense to drop all of them, because we're going to wind up losing money doing the spreadsheet on, you know, our current catch rates, the pounds per trap that we've been catching, and you could do better, you could do worse. So you got to take so far where you're at. It might only be beneficial to drop like 50 of them. I could bring 50 out on one trip when I go to pull traps, and then what I could do is just stretch my day really long and just pull more traps in one day. And the more traps that you could do in one day, it's even better, because once you hit a certain point, you cover the expenses and then you keep going, and it's, you know, it's all profit. And for me, you know, our costs are relatively low compared to the big boats. You know, the big boats have a lot more maintenance, and it's a lot more expensive to move that thing off the dock. You know, some of these guys with these big boats, it's, you know, $1,000, $1,200 just to move off the dock for that day. So for me, it's cheaper than that. I'm doing the work by myself, so I don't have to worry about paying a mate, except my son when he comes with me. Whoa. Man, these waves. That's the thing with the east wind. We're on the east coast of Florida, and we're pulling north. And so when you have that east wind, it's hitting you sideways all day. It's horrible. It is the absolute worst to pull here with an east wind. This is how we measure it, guys. You got to clip them right here on this little joint, and if they exceed the gauge, then he's good. Looks like those are the only two. That guy's too small. Get some cowhide in there. And this, if you haven't seen the other videos, guys, this is the cowhide. It is literally exactly what it sounds like. It's the hide of the cow. Salted cow skin. But it's extremely durable. And I probably don't have to tell you this, but it smells like crap. And that's what you need. You need that scent coming out of your traps to attract the crab. So that's what we use. Pig's feet, cowhide. I've dabbled a little bit this year with cat food, that wet cat food. If you have a cat, you know what I'm talking about. If you feed it that, and if you don't have a cat, go buy one. Not a cat. Don't go buy a cat on my account. Just pick up one of those cans at the grocery store next time you go and pop the lid on that and take a whiff of it. It smells horrific. So when you put that in the trap, you pop the lid on that, and then I just leave it like that. I pop it. I get the ones with the pop lid. Some guys do like the ice pick and they hammer it, but those seconds on each trap at the end of the day turn into hours. So I just get the ones with the flip lid. I pop it, make a little hole in it, you know, with the flip lid, and let all that scent come out. We'll see if this one has an old can in there, and I can show you, but the crabs absolutely destroy it. The only problem with that is it is expensive. It is, oh, we got some lobster in here, guys. It's expensive. It's averaging out to 70, 75 cents a can or per trap, you know, and that is that's quite a bit. It's quite a bit when you factor in, you know, the pig's feet are 50 cents a pound, and the cowhide is right around that price as well. So then you got, you know, you're talking about $1 per trap already. And you throw in the 75-cent cat food, you're at $1.75. So you got to factor all that in, and we've got a spreadsheet. I track all of that to monitor my cost per trap, and it's a balancing act, you know, trying to get the right cost with the right amount of crab. And I'll tell you, it has been really slow. This month has been so far the worst that we've had, and it really hurts when you have a month like this, especially when I thought we were going to keep going hot like we were. I bought those traps, and then it just hit the brakes. The crab got lost, so I gotta pay the credit card. So we need some crabs. I mean, today is starting off pretty decent. Let's just hope that we can maintain this same momentum of crab all the way through to the end of the day. And if you hear that noise, I think either the plate in the winch is bent or the shaft in it. So that's gonna be another expense. All right, here we got one. See, this is what I'm talking about with the cat food. They absolutely destroy the can coming after that cat food. So I'm not gonna drop more in it today because I am pressed for time today. It is my niece and my nephew's birthday party. They're born one day apart, obviously, some years in the middle, but my sister is celebrating their birthday today. So Sean and Melanie, when you watch this, happy birthday from Tio. So I gotta go through these traps rather quickly so I could get home, cook this crab, and make it to their party to sing happy birthday to them. But if I wasn't pressed for time, I would be, you know, alternating some of these traps. I have a log with the ones that I'm putting the cat food in to see if I see a difference. The first week I did see a difference, and I was like, man, we got to do this cat food. The second, third, fourth week, there was no difference. None of them were catching. So I can't use that as hey, the cat food works great. I got to look at that and think, okay, that's an anomaly, and that's an outlier, so I can't factor that in. So right now, the cat food is probably gone in all the traps. Oh man, guys, this salt water is just coming into my face. Going into these traps. So I'm gonna pull this one, and I am going to keep pulling, and then I'm gonna, you know, bring it back in a later spot. And we'll do that throughout the day. But yeah, this is, man, I wish my son was here to see this today. Look at this, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Don't pinch me. They're usually pretty good about not pinching you if you're not grabbing them, you know? But guys, this is unbelievable. We haven't seen this in a very, very, very long time. It has been over a month since we have seen something like this. This is impressive. Oop. Oh, we got 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in one trap. That is very, very good. This guy earned a new fresh piece of cowhide. Wow. That's amazing. My son couldn't come today. He is, poor guy, got his hamstring hurt really, really, really bad. He could barely walk from football. And he told me, he said, hey, how long does this hamstring last? I gotta get back on the practice field. I don't know, I'm not a doctor, but I'll tell you what, when I was following the Bucks this year, Mike Evans, he hurt his hamstring and he was out, I want to say 3 to 5 weeks, a long time. And I'm sure he gets a lot better care than what my son's high school could give. So I don't know, it looks extremely painful. Poor guy can barely walk. He's icing it, some special tape on it, kinetic tape or whatever it's called. But yeah, he can't even barely walk. And all he's gonna do if he comes out here today is hurt himself even more. So we don't want that. I know today is an extremely rough day. You'll see the buckets when I get home, but this is starting off very good, guys. So I'm gonna keep pulling, bring you back, and hopefully today we get to use these 5 buckets again. Let's go, let's figure it out, let's go. All right, guys. I have not been able to record for the last couple hours. It is extremely rough. Everything is soaked, all the cameras. I hope that it's gonna be tough because I can't see all the lens to wipe them. Hopefully there's no drops of water, but we started off on fire. And remember I said I don't want to count my chickens before the eggs hatch. Well, we had a very good patch in the beginning and it has been extremely slow. I'm almost done pulling the traps, and we have 2 buckets full right now. When I left you guys, we had 1 bucket full and we had started the 2nd bucket, and it's just not panning out today like I thought it would. I thought today was gonna be a day where we're gonna use all of our buckets, and that has not happened. So these traps here, oh man. Ooh. You see how rough it is? Everything is falling on the boat. It's terrible with this sideways wave. These traps here, guys, I moved them. This is the 3rd time I'm pulling them. So 3 weeks ago, first pull, they sucked. And then the 2nd time that I pulled them, they did very good. So right now, we got a 50-50 chance that we can see some crab. And I see some legs in this one. And guys, my nose is super runny. And it is, it's because of all this salt water. Yeah, look at this. This is very good. Whoa. Got all that water coming over the transom. It is, guys, it is tough today. This guy wants to fight. And when they're like that, look at that. I don't want him to get me. All right, so starting a new bucket. This guy's got 1. So yeah, there's so much salt water that I've been getting in my eye. Oh, whoa. All right. Man, he almost got me, guys. I hate those little ones, man. These little tiny claws. When you can't grab them good, they're very tricky. Got 1 here in the bait cup. This guy might have 1, but yeah, my nose is running like crazy. Nope. Nose is running like crazy. I got so much salt water in my nose and in my eyes, I can't see. But the day's almost over. Oh no, this broke. Get our spare ones. Day is almost over out here, which is, this has been unbearable. I knew it was gonna be tough. I said it this morning, but every time I come out in this east wind, I'm like, make a mental note, don't come out. But I had to come today because we've got birthday parties today. And after that birthday party, I ain't gonna want to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to come out here. It's had to wait and say, do I go to the party, leave early, or do I'm gonna be exhausted. But Cuban coffee, Red Bull, I'll make it through the party. But I had to weigh it out, and I figured I'd rather just get it over with today instead of having to go to the party where all my family's gonna be at. It's gonna be pretty cool. All the cousins, everybody's getting together, and see everybody. I don't want to leave early, so I'm gonna be able to hang out and see everybody. But yeah, it's today is this is like uphill rollerblading. I don't know if you ever tried it, but it doesn't work very well. That's what today has been like. Uphill rollerblading. Oh boy. See, this is the problem with this wind from the east. You have to drive to the buoy like you're gonna run it over. And let it, like it's literally going down the middle of the boat to try to have a chance at gaffing it. Ooh. See how the wind is pushing me on top of the rope there. Oh man. But yeah, it has been really tough sledding. And then we got rained on. Well, me and you, but you didn't see it. I got rained on. Terrible storm. So yeah, I don't know. These traps, pull some here. This video is gonna be short this week just because I've gone through so much camera equipment. I literally just purchased a couple weeks ago 2 more GoPros, and it gets expensive. $400 a clip for a GoPro. And I'm on my third microphone and receiver this year. Well, I say this year, this crab season, so since we started it. But it's very expensive when you're going through equipment like this and you're not making the money to just throw it in cameras. We got a stack of cameras. If anybody's watching, there's gotta be somebody that can fix these GoPros. If anybody knows, man, let me know in the comments. Shoot me an email. There's gotta be somewhere where I can fix these GoPros. This is the majority of them have the port where you connect the audio to doesn't work anymore from water damage. And then I got one that didn't last me a month, and it is completely dead. It got wet that day that I was with my son, and it was pouring rain, and now it won't even turn on. So I've been letting it sit. I got it to turn on, and then it just shuts off. That one hurt. It didn't last a month. But if anybody knows how to fix these, man, I would really appreciate it, because I'm sure it's cheaper to fix them than to be buying new ones. To be able to bring these videos to you, I mean, this is what we deal with during the winter here in the crabbing season in Florida. And I know the cameras don't do it that much justice, because they have that stabilization feature on them. But if I turn them off so you guys get an idea of how much we're really moving around, you wouldn't be able to watch the video. You'd get motion sickness watching the video. So guys, the first trap started off good, huh? And I thought, man, we're gonna get some crab. Let's see, I don't know, we could go for a couple more and see what happens. And then if not, I could bring you back to another spot that usually does very, very well. And then if that doesn't work, I can bring you back in the crab portal. That crab portal's been closed for months. Oh my goodness, I don't know. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll pull, we'll give it 1 or 2 more. And if it's uneventful and I'll bring you back at the end. Guys, I am beat to you know what. The old boom here with the waves, when I go to gaff it, it's swinging and I have it tied so it won't, but it smacked me in the face a couple times. It's just really, really difficult when you're facing these waves. And what makes it very difficult is that you're hitting it broadside all day. So you're just constantly rolling in these waves. Oh, but almost done. I really was hoping, man, get that third bucket. We started it, we got 2 claws in there, 3, but we would need a miracle. We would need a miracle to fill that thing up in the little bit of traps that we have left. All the crab in the ocean would have to be in those traps. So that's not gonna happen. Especially not at the rate that we're going. You know, if we were catching, oh man, if we were catching, I would say yes. We got a good shot. Look at this lobster. If you haven't seen it in any of the other videos, guys, this is the Florida spiny lobster right here. Little guy, male. Florida spiny lobster. Oh man. All right, what do you think? We'll pull one more. Pull one more, see how it is. And then I'll bring you to another spot. I thought these, man, last time they did very, very well. And this is just a scouting. I took 8 and I dropped them here and said, let me check out this area. I don't have anything here. And I'm kind of driving to the next spot, so I squeezed these 8. And like I said, first time was horrible. Second time was excellent. And I thought I found a gold mine. But I did, and I found a coal mine. Oh man, let's see what this one brings. If it doesn't have anything, we'll bring it back a little bit further down the road. But the road is coming to an end. Oh man, at least thankfully we got 2 buckets. So we'll be able to cover the expenses again and make a little bit of money, but it's not like how it was a couple months ago. I mean, we were getting 4 or 5 buckets. Those were really, really good pulls. But at least, you know what, I'm thankful, very, very thankful that I'm at least getting 2 buckets, because it could be worse where you don't get anything. Here we go, more lobster. Little itty bitty guy. This guy here is a little bit bigger. Another boy. Let's get some cowhide in here. And if you're wondering what all this is on the cowhide, it's salt. So these are heavily, heavily salted so that they don't rot, you know, in the buckets. I mean, they smell horrible. If there was a scratch and sniff, I'd love to put it out there so you guys, it's horrible. My son helped me put that bucket on the boat. It's got a little hole in the bottom, so the ooze is like draining out of it. Last night, and he was gagging, and he was like, "This smells horrible." Yeah, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. But it's the smell of that and the pig's feet when you get on the boat at 4 o'clock in the morning is not enjoyable. Ugh. We are, guys, if this doesn't work, that's it. It's not gonna happen today. It's not gonna happen. We got all the crab that we were gonna get right at the beginning. And it's crazy because 2 weeks ago it was backwards. All the second half was on fire. And here we are, and it's just empty traps, empty traps, empty traps. It is 1:10. Probably got, I don't know, less than an hour of work to do, and That'll include the cleanup of the boat. I always rinse it off before I head back. But let's see if this doesn't work. Nothing is going to work. And at this point, we got so little traps left, and we're just not making a dent in that other bucket. That third bucket had so little, I could condense that into the original two. But wishful thinking, you know, I wanted to try to start another bucket. Oh, no claws. No claws, and this guy has one for sure. See the bucket? We can't cover the red on the bottom. And the second claw is too short. See how it goes below the gauge there? So one claw. One claw only. Well, I'll tell you what though, guys, this is better than what I've been seeing for the last hour. I haven't seen a crab. One claw. Oh no, my Sharpie got wet. I always bring multiple Sharpies because there's so much water on everything. You got one drop of water in that thing and it's done. That guy made it almost a whole day. But yeah, one claw, so it's better than what I've been seeing. You know, for the last hour, I hit a run there where I pulled like 60 traps, and in those 60, I counted and I got 25 claws in 60 traps. You want to talk about Heartbreak Hotel? That was it. So one trap, one claw. You know, the beginning, the first, 20 traps, I was like, man, we're averaging 2 claws a trap. With that average, we would come out and finish the day, and wind up with 400 claws, and that would be over 100 pounds. And I was super excited. Oh no. Oh my goodness. But now every bone in my body hurts, my joints. And I always have a bottle of Motrin on the boat. And it's empty. So we gotta get some more Motrin for next time. Nothing. I don't know what happened there. Oh man. 2 traps, 1 claw. But yeah, no Motrin. So when it gets to this point in the day, I'm hurting. And I bring you in little clips just to try to show you, a glimpse of what this is like. But it really, the day starts at 3:30 when I wake up, and that's when I, connect the GPSs. I don't leave, anything of value on the boat. Here in Miami, that's not a wise. It's not a wise decision to leave things of value on the boat. But I go ahead, I hook up all the GPSs, load everything on the boat, safety equipment, all that stuff, and then I leave. I leave the boat hooked up, but then I leave. I go get gas, go put it in the water. I go ahead and I hook this thing up, set up the cameras, and then leave. And then, by the time you get back, when we get done out here, we've got about a good hour and a half ride back to the dock. And then I always give myself like another 30 minutes on top of that to get the boat out and get home. Today it'll be very quick because there's nobody out on the water today. That parking lot was empty when I got there this morning. But, and then that's when the fun begins of cooking the crab. I did buy an additional burner, so now I'll be able to do 5 pots at one time. So I'm excited to see how that shaves time off for me. And then I could go to, bump it up to, 10. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The baby's starting to, she's really getting into music now. If she sees or hears a song that she likes, she goes, ah, at the beginning of it. So that's why I'm saying, ah, I see a lot of legs, but a lot of small claws. We got 2 and 3. This guy here is too small. Maybe guys, let's measure him. He's a really small crab, but this might be a medium. And by medium, I say medium-sized claw. And it is. See how the doesn't go through there? I'll show you better here. See how when you clip it here, on that little back joint, it stays right there. Okay, so not the big monsters we were hoping for, but not bad. Not bad. At this point, we don't want to be picky with big claws, or we will take all claws. All claws right now are welcome aboard the Pescatarians. But yeah, the baby's really getting into music. Very, very picky. She's got some songs that she absolutely loves, and she's got some that she doesn't like. And when we're in the truck and a song comes out she doesn't like, she's like, ah, ah. So I started making her own playlist. So just like Daddy, she's listening to everything from hip hop, country, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, salsa, Spanish music, Mark Anthony, you name it. So, oh guys, man, I am so tired. This is, it's so hard to portray how difficult this is when the day is like this. And it's so right. It's just, this is tough. Really, really tough. I've got so much salt water in my face. My lips are all wrinkly, salty. It's just been a really, really tough day. I don't know if with the cameras you could see kind of how I'm driving to the buoy, and you got to try to drive the boat basically like you're going to run it over right down the middle, just to be able to get that thing next to you when you're going to gaff it. If not, the wind just pushes you away from it. Oh, Nelly. I think we got 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 or 4 left. We'll give the next couple ones a try here and see what that does. Oh, but yeah, so like I was saying with the burners, it should be a lot faster now. I can almost double what I was cooking before. And if you've been watching the videos, you know my good friend Captain Abel, he's a lobster fisherman. He gave me a massive burner. I mean, this thing looks like it's like a cauldron. It's big. I mean, I could fit the baby in the pot. So I gotta clean that thing up, and I wanna put a new gas hose on it. I don't wanna turn that thing on and the hose is rotted out or something, and it'd be a big, huge problem. But that thing, I could probably cook an entire bucket at one time in that. It's a big pot. So I'm gonna try to do that here and definitely have it all set up for the beginning of the next season, so we can, that's where it takes so long. You gotta be able to cook a lot at one time, you know? If you can't cook a lot at one time, that's where it starts getting very, very time consuming. Let's see. These guys have always been pretty good. I got one in here. One is better than nothing. Pretty decent guy. One, and this one is good. So 2 claws. I think those need bait, and you see the bait in there. This is what we've been talking about. It's the bait's been in there for like a month. It's just not breaking apart. If that bait doesn't start rotting, it's just not gonna do anything. And we did have, had like 2 weeks of warmth after a massive, you look at the videos, I had a video a few weeks ago where it was in the 40s. And then after that, it got really, really hot. And we all thought, winter's over. But now we got another cold front. It's really not freezing. We say cold front and it's in the 60s. But that doesn't do us any good for the water. We need that water to get warmer for that bait to rot. And if you think about it, that would be the equivalent of you going fishing and not putting bait on your hook. You're not gonna attract anything to that. Same thing with the trap. The bait is in there, but if it's not rotting and decomposing and giving off that scent, then it's not attracting anything to it. The lobster will get in the trap looking for shelter, right? They think it's like a cave, a little rock, and they'll go in and that's their home, The crabs are really looking for food to eat. Oh my God, guys. There's so much salt water that's coming in my eyes that I can't see. I can't see forward. We are falling apart here at the end. But yeah, it's been tough sledding. Hopefully, guys, I think there's this one and a couple more. Then I do have some more traps, but those traps have not been doing well. So I definitely don't want to take you to see more empty traps. I'm more than alone on the boat here. Oh, deli. Yeah, one more after this one. So we'll see if this next one is gonna be good. And then what I'll do is I'll just keep pulling, bring you back at the end of the day when I'm all done. I'll show you what I caught. It doesn't look, we're definitely not gonna even get close to getting that bucket halfway. Not with what I got left, and I know kind of what we've been catching in that area. And what I'm showing you are the ones that usually do pretty good. So you can imagine off camera what I'm going here after empty trap. And we've moved so many traps around. And when it starts getting to the end of the season like this, it gets very, very slow. And then when the water starts, so the closed season is, that late spring, summer, when the water's warm and they're out here and they're spawning. The season is closed during their spawning season so that they can spawn safely, and that's their peak spawning. They can spawn safely and make sure that we conserve the sustainability of the species and the fishery. So that's why at the beginning, I see some legs, guys. What do we got? This is like the lottery when you're checking your numbers. All right, we got one here. And we got two. See, guys, how you do it. Put it right there. And see how it doesn't go below it. So that's good. Oh, man, I remember one time, when I was a little kid. My parents had played the lottery. I don't even know if people still do it like this, but you could go to the store and you could get like a printout, which looked like a lottery ticket, of the numbers. And they were checking their numbers with that. Oh my goodness. I know what it feels like to win the lottery, because I don't know how they got that thing mixed up. But they were looking and comparing that ticket. Oh man, they thought they won. And we were jumping up and screaming and everything. It took a while to figure out that we were looking at, that wasn't a ticket, it wasn't a ticket, it was a printout of the numbers. So, but guys, what I'm gonna do is drop this thing. I've got a few more traps to go. And I am going to bring you back at the end to show you what we got. We got, not long, I mean, it's 1:30 now. Probably another half an hour, 40 minutes. And I'll show you what we caught. Guys, I'm done. I am done. What's the time? It is 2:03. So we got the boat cleaned up, and I'll tell you, we didn't get to fill the third bucket, but legitimate halfway. So that's pretty good. You take a look here. Got our first bucket, second bucket, and then our half bucket here. And then if you're wondering what this is, these are the two orange buckets are pig's feet, and then that's cowhide. And then empty bait buckets and empty crab buckets. They're color coded, so we never put crab in a bait bucket. The crab buckets are red and all the bait buckets are orange from Home Depot. But guys, what a day. I am beat. So you know what, it has been really tough today with this east wind, but at least we probably got there, I would say, I don't know, 60 pounds, 65 pounds. So it's gonna be a pretty good day of pulling. It's just my body it's tore up. But guys, thank you for watching. If you missed last week's video, I'm gonna link it at the end of this one, and I'll catch you next week. Let's go.